Welcome back, everybody. This time, we're going to be looking at a way to say, I love you, without actually saying it.
Okay.
So think about it. Sometimes I love you,
Yeah.
just I can't quite
Russ,
convey it.
for sure.
It can feel loaded with expectations, or sometimes it can just fall short of really expressing what you truly feel.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so the source material that we're going to be looking at today is an article called 3 Ways to Say I Love You with Reiki by Bronwen Logan.
Now, for our listeners that might not know, could you give us a little bit of background on what Reiki is?
Sure. Reiki is a Japanese energy healing technique.
Okay.
The word itself is made up of 2 Japanese words. Rei, meaning universal, and ki, meaning life energy.
Got it.
So you can think of Reiki as universal life energy.
That's pretty cool.
Pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
And the article is suggesting that we can use this energy to express love.
Oh, so we're not actually saying the words, I love you.
Exactly.
We're using this energy.
We're using this energy as a deeper, more nuanced way to say it.
Okay, I like that.
One that goes beyond words.
Interesting.
So the article dives into 3 specific ways to do this.
Okay.
The first one is called Let Your Hands Speak.
Okay. So I'm picturing like sign language, but with energy.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Okay.
But in Reiki, practitioners use specific hand positions on or slightly above the body.
Oh, okay.
And so the article suggests that these hand placements can become a direct expression of love,
Oh, wow.
like a silent language spoken through touch and intention.
That's powerful.
Yeah, it is.
So it's not just about the physical touch, but the energy
Exactly.
through the hands.
It's about creating a space of healing and connection,
I see.
letting your hands convey the love and care that you feel.
You know, I've actually had a Reiki session before, and I felt that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's subtle, but there's definitely a sense of warmth,
Yeah.
of being nurtured.
Mhm.
And the article actually emphasizes that this touch is purely about healing,
Okay.
keeping the focus on the therapeutic
Yeah.
and energetic aspect.
Right.
The author even says, let every hand position be a word in your love poem.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, isn't that nice?
I like that.
So I can see how these hand placements could be like carefully chosen words,
Yeah.
each one conveying a specific nuance of love and care.
Yeah, exactly.
So are you ready to explore the second way to express love through Reiki?
I am.
This one is called Connect Through Sacred Breath.
Breath work has always fascinated me.
Me too.
Yeah.
And this section of the article delves into the Japanese concept of kododama,
Uh-huh.
which is the power of words imbued with ki or energy.
Now, that's interesting to me because Kododama, the way I understand it,
Yeah.
is that words themselves actually carry energy.
Exactly.
And that we amplify that energy through the breath.
That's a great way to put it. Because the article really highlights how breath acts as this bridge
Right.
between the physical and the spiritual.
Yeah.
It carries our intentions and our emotions.
I find that with my own meditation practice when I'm really focusing on my breath.
Yeah.
My words
Yeah.
and intentions seem to have,
More weight.
more weight to them.
Yeah.
It's like they're more powerful.
It's like they're more potent somehow.
Yes, exactly.
And in Reiki, combining breath work with intention can amplify the healing energy
I see.
that's being channeled.
So it's like an extra oomph to it.
Yeah, the article even mentions this really cool phrase, Kototama no Saki wa Kuni,
Okay.
which means the blessed land where language's mysterious workings bring bliss.
Wow.
And so it connects this idea to the lineage of Reiki,
Yeah.
suggesting that practitioners tap into this ancient power of language and energy.
Wow, that's amazing. Have you ever had any experience with like a spoken word or a phrase that just felt particularly charged with energy?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
There are certain affirmations or mantras
Yeah.
that when I say them out loud with intention,
Uh-huh.
they just resonate really deeply within me.
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
It's like you can actually feel the energy of the words.
Yeah.
It's tangible.
And the article encourages visualizing speaking words on the out-breath,
Okay.
feeling that ki flow through you and outward. So it's
Yeah.
like imbuing your words with love,
I like that.
sending that love out into the world.
Yeah.
So are you ready to dive into the third way to express love through Reiki?
Let's do it.
This one is called See Through the Eyes of Love.
Okay, now this one's really interesting to me because how can the eyes speak the language of love?
Well, think about it. Have you ever felt like someone's eyes were saying more
Oh, yeah, for sure.
than words ever could?
Absolutely. There's a depth of communication that can happen through eye contact.
Yeah.
You can't get with words.
Exactly.
Honest.
And the article highlights the eyes as truth tellers, capable of conveying love beyond superficial appearances.
I see.
It's about looking beyond the physical form and connecting on a deeper level.
So is there like a specific gazing technique or something?
Not really.
Okay.
The article emphasizes that it's not about technique,
Uh-huh.
but about genuine heart-centered connection.
Okay. So you're approaching somebody with a loving gaze,
Exactly.
allowing your eyes to express that care that you feel.
Yes. The article describes this gaze as gentle, accepting, and deeply nurturing,
Wow.
a form of healing touch in itself.
That's really interesting. You know what's fascinating to me is that all three of these methods,
Yeah.
touch, breath, and gaze,
Mm-hmm.
they all tap into our senses,
Yeah.
you know?
It's so true.
And it makes me wonder if they would be even more powerful if we combine them.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
That's a great question. And, it is something that the article touches on. Bronwen suggests that these three elements, touch, breath, and gaze, work together to create what she calls a complete circuit of nonverbal communication.
I see what you mean. Like they each play a unique role in amplifying and transmitting that energy of love. The hands focus, the breath carries it, and then the eyes, connect deeply
Yeah.
with the recipient.
That's a beautiful way to put it. And it makes me wonder if by using all three methods together, we're creating this more potent and holistic expression of love.
It's possible. And what's even more fascinating to me is the article's point about how the roles of giver and receiver start to blur in this practice.
Right.
It becomes less about, one person directing energy toward another and more about a shared experience, a merging of those energies.
That really resonates with me.
Mm-hmm.
It's an incredible feeling of connection and oneness.
And it kind of challenges us to think about the traditional roles we assign in relationships.
Right.
Maybe it's not always about one person being the giver and the other the receiver.
Yeah.
Maybe it's more fluid than that.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
And it makes me think about how this perspective on love as a healing energy expressed through this mindful presence could have a ripple effect beyond just our romantic relationships.
Absolutely. Imagine applying these principles to your interactions with family, friends, colleagues, even strangers that you encounter on the street.
Right.
What if we approached everyone with that same loving gaze, that intention to connect on a deeper level?
It's almost like shifting our mindset from I love you to I am love.
Yes.
Radiating that energy outwards in all our interactions.
Exactly. And who knows what kind of transformation that could spark both within ourselves and in the world around us.
Yeah.
This article has really given us a lot to think about in terms of, how we approach love and connection.
It has. And
Yeah.
it reminds us that love isn't just this feeling, it's a practice.
Right.
Something we can cultivate
Yes.
and strengthen through intention and awareness.
Absolutely. What resonates most with you from this exploration? Is there any kind of takeaway that really stands out to you?
I think for me, it's the idea of reframing love as a healing energy. It's not just something we feel, it's a force
Yeah.
that can transform and uplift.
Yeah. We can harness that power to create positive change in our lives and in the lives of those around us.
Beautifully said. And I think that's a powerful message for our listeners. Love isn't just a sentiment, it's a practice,
Right.
a skill we can develop and refine.
What do you think listeners think? Have you ever experienced a moment where you felt a deep connection with someone without saying a word? Perhaps through a shared glance or a warm embrace, or simply a feeling of presence and understanding.
We'd love to hear your thoughts.
How can you incorporate these principles of touch, breath, and gaze into your own life? Whether it's through practicing Reiki, cultivating a more loving gaze, or simply bringing more awareness to your breath and physical touch, there are countless ways to express love beyond words.
It's funny, as we've been talking about this, I keep thinking about how these ideas might challenge our more like conventional ideas of love.
I can see that. Yeah. Yeah.
Like we often think of love as something we give
Right.
or receive.
Yeah.
But what if it's more about a state of being?
Okay.
Like a way of approaching the world.
It reminds me of that quote by Ram Dass, we're all just walking each other home.
I love that.
Yeah.
And it makes me think about how this perspective on love as a healing energy could help us move beyond some of the more transactional
Right.
or conditional ways
Yeah.
that we often approach relationships.
Like keeping score.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right.
It's not about keeping score or expecting something in return.
Exactly.
It's about cultivating a sense of love and compassion that just flows outward naturally.
Beautifully said.
Yeah.
We invite you to reflect on how you can bring these principles into your own life.
How can you express love more fully and authentically?
How can you cultivate a more loving gaze?
More mindful touch?
A deeper connection through your breath.
Remember, love isn't just a feeling.
It's a practice.
It's a practice.
And with each conscious act of love,
Yes.
we create ripples that extend far beyond ourselves.
Thank you for joining us on this exploration of expressing love through Reiki.
Until next time, may you be well, and may your heart be filled with love.